Oh man, what a mood. That's a true mood.
My eating disorder, this is the first time I've admitted this. Good for you.
I think it just hit a little bit too close to home.
What are you ashamed of?
I'm ashamed that I'm a senior and I'm still a virgin. Everyone in college has made such a big deal out of having sex that now I feel like I'm entering the adult world unprepared.
I'm ashamed of the anxiety that has left me out of many young person experiences. Oh man, what a mood. That's a true mood.
First and foremost, I guess I would say it's okay to not necessarily have sex experience going like graduating college or things like that. You wouldn't be alone in that. I think that there are a lot of people that would be in the same boat.
It's really easy to say like, don't be anxious, which is stupid. People say they're stupid. Finding good people is part of it. Friends who can support you and help you and make you feel comfortable with yourself.
Eventually, you're going to find someone that will understand and go through that process of life with you. Know what is best for you. That's what matters.
I'm ashamed of my thighs even though they're not horrible. It's probably because I got fat shamed in middle school. Same here. My thighs, my hips, my nose, like all sorts of different things. I think that there's this really big societal pressure of you need to look a certain kind of way. And something that has helped me get over that or recognize the fault in that kind of logic is like, why am I listening to these people?
My eating disorder, this is the first time I've admitted this. Good for you. I'm so proud of this person, whoever it is, for admitting that they have eating disorder. That's the first step to change. I've been having body image issues when I was like 12, 11. Eat, sleep, sex. These are three things that humans are born to do. Fuck other people when they tell you what to eat or when they tell you how much to eat.
I'm questioning my sexuality, and being in that in-between phase seems so inconvenient for everyone around me.
My inability to accept myself as a gay man in front of my family. Yeah, that's a big one.
Myself and a lot of people around me like to think that because USC is in Southern California and because it's known for being more liberal and more tolerant towards people of different identities, that suddenly LGBTQ issues just disappear when you step on campus. And I think that this message has reminded me that that's not the case.
A lot of people will be like, be out, be proud. That's great and good when people come from families that it's accepted. If that's not true, the closet is safe. It's very safe. One's choice and ability to be one's true self is a very individual space. If it's a very individual choice, very individual ability. If you feel like you can't come out in front of your family for safety reasons or emotional reasons, you are faced with a choice, which is either live in the closet or to be prepared to lose those relationships. And I know how hard that is to make that choice. And how unfair it is. How deeply unjust it is. But we live there. This is our society.
I'm embarrassed of how little I've done in order to further myself in my career. I feel like even though there are a lot of opportunities out there, my resume just doesn't amount to how much I'm supposed to have accomplished at my age. Did I submit this?
I'm ashamed of relying on my past academic achievements in order for people that I meet to see me as intelligent.
I'm ashamed of not being better than the old me.
I know that I'm so much more than what my resume says. even though my resume is not great enough, it still doesn't make me a bad person, and I shouldn't be ashamed of not having a perfect resume. And there's not really such a thing as a perfect resume.
I guess it's about seeking balance, because at least for me, I'm a little too humble and perhaps belittle my own achievements, and people have the inverse perception of me.
My first question is, why do you feel that way? Like, what about you do you look back on and feel you're not better than? Because there's many ways in which I don't feel better than my old self, but there's many other metrics in which I am so much more happy than who I was in the past. So I wonder if for you, there are ways that you can focus on how you've changed for the positive.
We all have a tendency to really degrade ourselves and put other people on a pedestal, but you need to recognize that other people do that same thing.
It's important to take ownership of our achievements so that people can see how we shine. So that's my 2 cents.
I'm ashamed of my mental state. Growing up in a very traditional Asian family, the idea of mental well-being has always been pushed aside. I've become really good at hiding my emotions and playing it off like everything is fine, even when it's not. Oof.
I've been ashamed of all the mental illnesses in my family. I've come to learn, though, depression is everyone's family's secret.
When I was 17, it got so bad I had to beg my mom to take me to a mental hospital. And my family's reaction was that I was overreacting.
I want to say it's not that something that you should be that ashamed of, but I also don't want to take that shame from you, because that's definitely a valid feeling.
In Asian culture, it's still not a thing that people talk about. It's still something that people feel like it's a white people problem. If you are depressed, if you're sad, you're weak. So when I started going to them in the hospital, I still feel uncomfortable about going there, because I was afraid that people are gonna think I'm crazy when I was just depressed.
Even now, even when there's awareness being spread for mental illness a lot more, it's still not spread properly in a lot of times. So there's a lot of stereotypes about mental illness that are still passed around.
One thing we can do to improve the stigma in the Asian culture is just by standing up and putting yourself out there. I know it's really, really scary. Not everyone wants to do that, but influencing the people surrounding you with your own story is very effective, and that worked for me and my family.
I'm ashamed of the way I treated myself and neglected to love myself for the first 20 years of my life. I guess it's my turn to be honest, even though everybody's probably listening. I think it just hit a little bit too close to home. That's why I guess the reason why I'm tearing up a little bit is because that's probably something that I wish maybe I could tell somebody without feeling like a burden. I have wanted to tell friends or family that I feel that way too, that I'm unhappy with the way I look, what I've achieved as a young person, what I haven't achieved. It just basically feels like, if I'm not the chipper or the bubbly best friend who is there to make everybody else feel better, if I have my own problems and I'm not making somebody feel better, I'm not the one who's being the helping hand or lending an ear. If I'm asking for that myself, then kind of what role do I fill in people's lives? And it was a very recent conversation that I had with my mom where I discussed this, and I felt so good to just put it out in the open and to tell somebody after 20 years of keeping it all bottled up. And it's a nice feeling to be able to share. So I hope that this person has somebody like that in their lives that can listen to them and hopefully make them feel like they aren't as big of a burden as perhaps they might feel like they are.
I cannot chase you, I cannot fly, I cannot make you make up your mind. You want me to prove it to you, to see what